And we welcome you to Malibu, California, inside Firestone Fieldhouse for another edition of West Coast Conference basketball. Tonight, the St. Mary's Gales come in with a record of 10-12, just above the Pepperdine Waves in the standings this week, coming into the week 7-14 overall. Thanks for joining us on the WCC Network. I'm Darren Preston. Well, the Waves, coming off a couple of losses in the Northwest to Portland and Gonzaga, played well at times again, and in that Gonzaga game, actually leading 28-24 at halftime. Becky Obima had her fourth double-double of the season, but how about the return of Ali Stedman? The 5'9" shooting guard, 17 points in 17 minutes off the bench. Very productive, and now the conference leader on the other end of the floor in steals per game, gets 1.8 per game, and she has a three-pointer and a double-digit outing in each of her games on the season. Number 8 scorer in the conference at 15.5 a game. Well, for St. Mary's, we talk about the same person every year. Her name is Tacey Whedon, wears number 4 out of Milwaukee, Oregon, another shooting guard, and she is the best three-point shooter, not only in the history of St. Mary's basketball, but in the history of the West Coast Conference. She has made 42% from three-point range in her career. She has made 377 career three-pointers. Nobody even comes close to that. In fact, no one's ever gotten even 300 other than her. And she averages 13 points a game this year to rank second on her team and just outside the top 10 in the conference. Tacey Whedon, also an outstanding free throw shooter at 87% on the season. So we'll have the starting lineups after this. Starting 5 coming up. Pepperdine and St. Mary's. Waves an opportunity to catch both St. Mary's and Pacific in the standings with a couple of home victories this week. This is Pepperdine basketball. Back in a moment on Wavecast on the WCC Network. Once again, good evening, everybody. Happy month of February, the final month of the regular season before, of course, March Madness kicks in. But a long way to go now. The Waves, a big opportunity this week to surpass the teams right ahead of them. You got St. Mary's in town tonight, Pacific in town on Saturday at 1 p.m. Those are the two teams immediately above the Waves, 1 and 2 games respectively. ahead of the Waves in the WCC standings. Coming into this one, the Waves and the St. Mary's Gales, a team the Waves lost to by 10 earlier in January. And in that game, Allie Stedman did not play. She is back in a starting role tonight. Played 17 minutes up at Gonzaga, had 17 points off the bench. First start in about a month. Jane Waba on the court, Marley Walls, along with Becky Obima, coming off her third and fourth double-doubles of the year, as Stedman is off to a great start for the Waves. Nails the first shot of the game. Teresa Grayson Banifo, of course, in the post, as well in a starting role for Pepperdine. Gales throw it away, might get it back, however, near the end line. And it'll be a reset of the shot clock, but Stedman out near the arc takes it away. Leading WCC player in steals as well, Allie Stedman at 1.8 steals per game. Jane Waba, left baseline shot, and Banifo rattles in there. First four in the first minute for Pepperdine. Waves coming off a couple of losses in the Northwest, but had a halftime lead over number 17 Gonzaga. St. Mary's coming off a couple of home losses to BYU and San Diego. They've lost 4 straight. For St. Mary's, Tacey Whedon, got to watch out for number 4, who we highlighted at the top of our show. Nobody has done it better in the history of the West Coast Conference from beyond the arc than Tacey Whedon. 377 career threes at 42%. And that is number 3 in itself all time in the conference. At the point guard position, Taylor Dalton, Hannah Rapp at guard as well. Up front, Aspen Garrison and Allie Bamberger, their leading scorer at 14 a game. Underneath and scoring is Aspen Garrison, a $120 into it. The Gales are on the board. Bamberger might present a matchup problem, and I'll tell you right now, Waba and Obima have to be big tonight. Number 33 right there, playing on defense in the key. She is the reigning WCC newcomer of the year, and right behind Stedman in scoring in terms of the WCC scoring leaders. Stedman at number 8 coming into this one, Bamberger at number 9, but Bamberger is also number 3 in rebounding, so you're going to have to box her out. Obima posting her up right there, just off the key, and in low, give and go. Grayson Banifo cannot get it to fall. Obima, though, long rebound, get it out. Waba for 3, she can hit those. It is too long. Weak side rebound is off to Aspen Garrison. Here come the Gales. One bounce dribble to the front court. Left wing 3 off the front of the rim, missed by Taylor Dalton. Waves on the move. Half court pass and off the right hand, and that's a ball that Teresa Grayson Banifo has to collect. Pass was right there, right in front of her, and you cannot turn that one over. Got nobody in front, easy layup, one trail person for St. Mary's. You cannot turn a ball like that over. 4-2 Pepperdine, three-pointer is gonna go in off the front of the rim, Allie Bamberger. Typically she's gonna do her damage from the interior. But Bamberger, that's her 14th three of the year, so she can certainly shoot them. She's 14 for 43. On the season, so she makes about a third of her efforts, and typically you're not going to, as Grayson Banifo makes a long 2 straight away to 6-5, another lead change. You're much more concerned about the number 4 out there, who wants the rock in front of the Pepperdine bench. Garrison, throw it up over, and Banifo, no good. The ball bounces on the end line. It'll go back to Pepperdine with 7:06 to go, and the Waves up by 1 early. Gonzaga at Santa Clara tonight. Gonzaga 11-0 in the West Coast Conference. Portland, who is 1 back of the Bulldogs, they are at San Francisco tonight. Dons are 5-5. About a 13-footer there. Obima too strong. Bamberger a rebound. Bamberger 7.9 boards a game, 3rd best in the conference. Inside the block, getting position, Hannah Rapp, 5'10" sophomore out of Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. There are 5 players on this roster from either Australia or New Zealand. 7-6 St. Mary's, a series of early lead changes. St. Mary's 44-37 all time against Pepperdine, including the one this year, 68-58 in early January up in Moraga. And Banifo misses near the block. St. Mary's forces a one and done back the other way. Whedon for three. It is long. Career 42% as the all-time conference and school record holder from downtown. Broke her own record, in fact, last year for a single season. Hit 106 threes. Can you imagine? Three-time all-conference, Tacey Whedon. Underneath, Marley Walls, trying to throw it up over Whedon, misses. Whistle on the floor, and will go the other way on the held ball. A couple of subs coming in for either side. It's going to be KK Brody and Drea Brunfield. Brunfield actually made a start on the recent road trip. On the court for St. Mary's is Claire Steele. She'll be at the point now. And Leah Hannafin, they're both guards. Steele 5'5", a grad student from Orinda, transfer from Lehigh. Hannafin, 5'11", junior, also from Melbourne, Australia. Shot missed. KK Brody playing much better. She's improved a lot in her freshman season. The center for Pepperdine, right side Drea Brunfield. Brody posting up, one bounce dribble, and Banifo kick it out. Three-pointer Waba, too strong, and smallest player on the floor grabs a long rebound, Claire Steele. Slashing to the hole, Dalton put it up, no, and Banifo a rebound, handed off to Marley Walls. Marley coming off her 5th 20-point game of the season on the recent road trip. And Banifo, a blocking foul will be called. I believe before the shot, they're going to get Dalton. That's 2 on St. Mary's. Let's take another look. Yeah, it didn't have position. The issue there perhaps was the late whistle. They're going to say it was on the shot. All right. So the first free throws of the game for either side. Teresa Grayson Banifo, 71%er, hits the first. And with almost half of the first quarter gone. Looking for another lead change here. And that one is no good. Rolls off the rim, and a rebound for Leah Hannafin. Front court, Claire Steele, 7 up. Half of the first quarter is in fact gone. Couple of bounces left side. Get to the key. Taylor Dalton pulls it back out. Off the window, no good. That one is missed by Hannah Rapp. And Marley Walls will settle into the front court. Loyola Marymount is hosting Pacific tonight. That's a 7 o'clock start. St. Mary's will be in Westchester Saturday while Pacific comes here. Again, the Gales and the Tigers just above the Waves and the Lions in the standings. And there's a nice turnaround shot. A right angle, Jane Waba connects, and the Waves lead it by a bucket. So this is an opportunity for both Pepperdine and LMU to catch Pacific and St. Mary's. Last time we were here, Pepperdine by 20 over LMU, and it is the Waves' only win in their last 10 outings. Timeout, we'll step aside, 4:24 to go first quarter. Waves by a bucket on the WCC Network. Pepperdine 9, St. Mary's 7, 4:24 first quarter. Gales are 3 for their first 9. Waves are 4 for the first 10. And Banifo has 5 of the Waves' 9 points. Well, tonight, and this week, in fact, is Bill Russell Recognition Week. All throughout the West Coast Conference. We'll be talking about him throughout our show tonight. Right angle, turnaround shot off the inbounds pass is good. Hannah Rapp connects. And Rapp's got 4. Of course, Bill Russell played in the West Coast Conference at the University of San Francisco. 1956, first team All-American, WCC Player of the Year. On the floor for Pepperdine now is Maylee Amosa. Waves lose handle on the end line, and St. Mary's gets it back 9-9 on the third Pepperdine turnover here in the first 6 minutes. 12-time NBA All-Star, 11-time NBA champion, 5-time NBA MVP, Bill Russell. Shot is blocked down low by Drea Brunfield. And back the other way comes Marley Walls. Lob it in. That's a bad pass. Way too much for KK Brody. And will get bailed out because Garrison couldn't hang on. And take a look. Nice block from behind by Drea Brunfield. Got a starting role on the recent road trip up in the Northwest and came in early tonight in the first quarter. Goes into Waba. Lost handle and then throws it away. Intended for Brunfield on the sideline. Back-to-back possessions now. Turnovers. Yeah, Bill Russell, University of San Francisco, back-to-back NCAA championship teams in 55 and 56. And can you imagine averaging more than 20 points and 20 rebounds per game over a 3-year career? Two-time National Player of the Year for the Dons. Bill Russell Recognition Week here in the West Coast Conference. Everybody was wearing number 6 in his honor in the pregame warm-ups. Unfortunately, Bill did pass away this past July 31st, 2022. Shot no good. Rebound Amosa. Waves keep it alive. Marley for 3. That's too strong. Long rebound is out to McKenna Mastora, who is on the court for the first time. 5'9" sophomore guard out of Alameda. Traveling violation there for Leah Hannafin, and with 2:49 to go in the first quarter, and we are locked at 9. The Waves get it back. Well, so far, you love the pace of this game, and specifically in terms of Tacey Whedon. Whedon has only taken 1 shot. She missed it. It was a 3, of course. Underneath, Brody, no good. And a rebound to Aspen Garrison. Running it up the court, Claire Steele. She pulls back. Becky Obima in when it's dead, left side. Hannafin had a good look at the 3 instead. Drop it off. Left baseline shot, no good. Missed by Garrison, and the ball deflects to Marley Walls. Still tied at 9, 2:10 first quarter. Brody. Right side it goes to Marley Walls. Whistle with Stedman. Crossover dribble. It'll be a foul on the defense. And it'll be on Whedon. Bamberger on and Garrison off. 3 fouls on the Gales. Ball awarded out of bounds right to our right here. Walls will inbound. And by the way, the first meeting against the Gales won by St. Mary's up in Moraga, 68-58. Whedon in that game had 16 points in just 22 minutes, hit 4 3-pointers. She is coming off her career high in threes with 7 against San Diego in the loss. Waves come up empty on that trip. Both teams have gone cold here last couple of minutes. Left side, Claire Steele. St. Mary's just 1 for their last 7. Pepperdine 1 for their last 9. 3-pointer missed. Long rebound. Stedman the other way. St. Mary's numbers on defense. Kick out Drea Brunfield. Couple of bounces. Pull up. Corner the free throw line. 15 feet. No good. Rebound offensively. Maylee Emosa. Pepperdine is the best rebounding team in the conference. Get 40 a game. Nobody gets more than that.
just like to get some results, of course, especially once you get those offensive rebounds, try to convert into baskets. That's been part of the issue at times this year. A couple of subs coming in. And Banifo on the court, Waba back in, Amosa and Brunfield off with 58.5 to go in the quarter. We're still tied at 9. Scoring drought for St. Mary's is 324. Scoring drought for the Waves 331. So we've been at 9-9 now for a while. Marley Walls, one bounce, split the defense as the shot clock expires. What a play. Marley Walls underneath, right through 2 defenders. Amy West is out there as well. 6'4", fifth-year senior forward out of Palmerston, North New Zealand. Hell ball, we're going to go the other way. Wow, ball plays to break a scoring drought. Marley Walls going through a couple of the defenders, including the 6'4" West, to break a drought of more than 3.5 minutes. 11-9 Pepperdine, and the ball with 35 seconds to go. Walls, a runner off the window and in. Marley Walls, who's coming off her 5th 20-point outing of the year, now has 4, with 4 rebounds, by the way, in the quarter. Foul on the way to the baseline. It'll be just the second foul on the Waves, and Banifo, the guilty party. Pepperdine has pulled down 14 rebounds. Wow, in the first quarter to St. Mary's 8. Amy West has it. Backing it on a Banifo, looking back door. Bamberger off the glass, no good, and West comes up with it with 10 seconds to go. Shot clock off, 3-pointer steal, too strong, and Banifo a long rebound. It's a nice rebound over Bamberger. 2 seconds, Walls floater short. That'll do it for the first 10 minutes. Well, solid, very solid first quarter. Yes, you had a 3.5-minute drought, but you like what you saw there in the first 10 minutes. Pepperdine 13, St. Mary's 9. And we're coming right back on the WCC Network.
We are the WCC. We are fueled by the conviction to achieve our goals without boundaries. We recognize and we adapt. We welcome adversity. We are Presidential Medal of Freedom winners, NBA champions, Olympic gold medalists, record breakers, and difference makers. We create change, and we create champions. We are the West Coast Conference.
Well, this is the biggest lead for either team tonight, 13-9 Pepperdine as we go to quarter number 2. The Waves holding the Gales to 26% from the floor in the first quarter, 4 for 15, and the Waves are +6 on the glass, 15-9. And Tacey Whedon did not score. Left side on the court is Jay Kirasomi for St. Mary's, 5'9", fifth-year senior out of Brisbane, Australia. Gales come up empty on their first trip down. Obima pulls it down, and in the front court, Stedman whip it left to Jane Waba. Waba at the other side of the court, center it, Walls for three, not known for her shooting. Ball tipped out, and the Gales come up with it. Here is Hannah Rapp. Drop it off for Amy West, kick it out. Bamberger looking for another three. That one is off the rim, no good. Ball's loose at the end line, going the other way. Pepperdine not much better offensively than what St. Mary's had in the first quarter. 6 for 20, 30%. Much more impressed with the defensive side of the floor for Pepperdine in the first 10 minutes tonight. Obviously the rebounding as well, very good. Keeping Whedon off the board in the first 10. Whedon is off the floor right now, by the way. But, again, Waves a little bit of a struggle on that end. Turning it over. That for the sixth time. St. Mary's with 4 turnovers. Bamberger looking for a backdoor pass through the lane. And Rapp can't hang on, although last touch by Pepperdine. And Rapp coming right down the lane. Bamberger wanted him behind wanted her behind the defender and didn't get her. Rapp's got it. Rapp one bounce over Stedman, no good, too long. Ball's loose on the floor. Rapp picks it up and throws it in. Hannah Rapp's got 6, and that is a game high. 13-11. She's got 6 of their 11. Waves still by a bucket. 90 seconds gone in the second quarter. Waba. Obima. That's no good. Blocked by Bamberger, though the Waves retain possession. Kick out. And Waba, her third 3 attempt is no good. St. Mary's the other way. At the block. Drop it off for Kirasomi. Right angle shot, leaning in and connecting is Taylor Dalton. Tied up, 13s. One bounce underneath, and Banifo no. Nice looking again from Marley Walls, but free throws coming up at the 7:57 mark in the second quarter. Amy West will pick up the foul, and that'll be the first foul for either side in the second quarter. Brody and Brunfield back on. Pepperdine women's basketball would like to extend its thanks to Nike, the official outfitter of the team, and on the internet, the home of the Waves can be found at pepperdinewaves.com. News, schedule, scores, stats, and more can all be found on the official athletics website. And Banifo in and out. That one was down. Banifo now 1 of 3 at the line. She has taken all of the free throws in this game for either side. So again, she splits the 2. Waves back on top. 14-13, 7:53 second quarter. Glad you're with us from Firestone Fieldhouse in Malibu. With you again, 1 o'clock Saturday, doubleheader with the men. And there's a three-pointer from Kirasomi off the bench, her first bucket of the game. Very good player, been in the program a while now, 5th-year senior. Another Australian 5'9" shooting guard. Gales now on a lead change by 2. In the middle of the key, no good. Missed by Banifo, coming up with it. Back the other way, Rapp. Dalton, kick out Bamberger, looking for her second triple. It goes in. Bamberger's got 2 threes. She's got 15 for the year on 45 tries. Leading scorer on the team, 14.8. Right behind Stedman, the WCC leaderboard, top 10. Brody to Waba. Lob it in, back to Brody, working against Bamberger with 8 on the shot clock. Right idea, couldn't get it to go. I told you the bigs are going to have to be aggressive tonight for Pepperdine, dealing with Bamberger, who has had some big nights against the Waves in the past. Couple of bounces, and Banifo no. Bamberger the rebound. Gales all of a sudden by 5, and the ball is poked away from behind by Marley Walls, who has it in the front court. Right baseline shot, and Banifo in and out. Brody, offensive rebound. Back out it goes to Drea Brunfield. Back to Brody, she can hit the mid-range. That's no good. Waves are now 6 of 26 tonight from the floor. That's just 23%. Left baseline around Waba. A running floater, no good, missed by Rapp. Waves are doing exactly what they have to do on that end of the floor. This end of the floor is really struggling. It was fine for a while in the first quarter. Then you had that drought of about 3.5 minutes. And the second quarter, the first half of it anyway, not going well to our right. A couple of bounces, a runner is no good, too strong, missed by Dalton, Brunfield. And they'll get it to the point guard, Marley Walls. And right now the Waves are sitting on one free throw in the first half, first 5 minutes of the second quarter. Came out of the first quarter 13-9, so 10-1 Gales so far in the quarter. KK Brody with 7, turnaround over Bamberger, not close. And Kirasomi runs it up. Jade Kirasomi, a couple of bounces, left side back to Taylor Dalton. So they shift Dalton to the 2 spot with Whedon still on the bench. 8 to shoot, Bamberger. Bamberger, fake right, turn left, blocked by Brody and collected by Mbanifo. Running it up, it's a 3-on-1. Walls to Waba, up with it, no, but a couple of free throws coming up. Another outstanding defensive series for Pepperdine. We're going to step away, 4:27 to go, and the Waves are down by 5 on the WCC network. St. Mary's 19, Pepperdine 14, 4:27 to go before halftime. Well, our next broadcast brought to you by the University Credit Union. That's this Saturday, February 4th at 1 o'clock, Pepperdine hosting Pacific. And again, this is a monster weekend for the Waves. Both tonight's team, St. Mary's and the Pacific Tigers, are the 2 teams immediately above Pepperdine in the WCC standings. So this is an opportunity week to catch those teams, and Loyola Marymount is in the same boat. They're hosting Pacific tonight, tied with the Waves at the bottom. But as you get deeper and deeper, of course, you start to play for seeding and try to, most importantly, probably is gain confidence headed into March. So got a long way to go here in February and a lot of things to correct. Waves is looking to get better and pick up a couple of important home victories. These games are winnable. Waves have kind of gone to sleep on the offensive end. Missing a couple of free throws there was Jane Waba. Tacey Whedon is back in. Left side three is no good. Off the back of the iron. Got another stop. Waves are certainly doing their thing on defense. Left side, Marley Walls. Get it to Jane Waba. Maylee and Mosa back in. Where are the points going to come from here? Stedman is on the bench. Underneath, Mosa will get the first basket for Pepperdine in the second quarter. And 3:50 to play only. Left side for St. Mary's, Leah Hannafin. Whedon, that's a long two, and that's good. It is a two-pointer. Tacey Whedon gets her first basket, first points of the game. And it comes with about 3:35 to go in the second quarter. Three-pointer, Brunfield, no good. Not so sure that's the shot you're looking for at this stage when you like to start getting your offensive rhythm back. Brunfield does have 6 threes on 26 tries this year. There's a kick ball. Reset the shot clock to 20. And here comes Stedman.
Ali Stedman back for the Waves.
This was the game that started Stedman's absence in the month of January. He missed 6 games, beginning with the game up in Moraga. Played just 6 minutes on that road trip up in Stockton. There's Aspen Garrison back on. Tacey Whedon. Whedon pull up. That is short with the shot clock running out. Gales an offensive rebound. One of the rare times the Waves are giving the Gales an extra look. Whedon, tight defense there by Stedman. Leads the conference in steals, and that time the Gales come up empty. And back the other way, Jane Waba. 2.5 to go in the second quarter. Runner, Stedman, a little bit too strong. Amy West with the rebound. Waves are without a three-pointer in the game on 6 tries, and now 7 of 32 from the floor. And there is Tacey Whedon. It was just a matter of time. 2:09 to go. Gives the Gales an 8-point lead. Tacey Whedon, 378 career three-pointers now. And I'll put that in perspective in a moment. Maylee and Mosa traveled, no call. And that one is too strong and out of bounds anyway. St. Mary's will get it back. The next closest in the history of the West Coast Conference to career three-pointers is 298. Tacey just knocked down her 378th. 80 more than the next closest. And obviously a lot of seasons still to be played. She's a grad student now. Looking for another one here. That's nothing but net. Not much you can do about that one. The Waves were on her. 27-16. The Gales are out to their first double-digit lead. Pepperdine still sitting with just 3 points in the quarter. Obima has her shot blocked by Garrison. Back the other way. Claire Steele. Steele slashing to the hole underneath and in. Under a minute, 29-16. Waves came out of the first quarter ahead 13-9. So this is a 20-3 second quarter for St. Mary's. Very similar to the first quarter in Moraga. Walls has her shot blocked by Hannafin, who will keep it herself into the front court. 38 seconds to go before halftime. Walls going for the steal. Fade away and dropped in there by Garrison. Waves should play for one shot here. Down now all of a sudden by 15. This Pepperdine team had a lead at number 17 Gonzaga at halftime. The last time they took the floor, led at 28-24. Stedman. That's good. With 5 seconds to go, about a 16-footer. And the Gales will throw it away. 1.8 to go, so maybe get a good look here. Get a little bit of momentum into the locker room. And what's otherwise been a miserable second quarter after what I thought was a positive first quarter. So not a lot of time to do much here, but still a decent amount of time to get a good look. And it's it's got to be better than that. The inbound to Brunfield. Looking for someone, finally makes the next pass. Too much looking and passing. There's only 1.8 to go. You got to get a shot off pretty quick. So it needs to be a little bit better clock awareness there, or court awareness. Either way you slice it. St. Mary's 31, Pepperdine 18 at the break. We'll talk with the head coach in just a moment, Brian Rosario, and we'll come back with some stats and a recap of the first half. 31-18 St. Mary's at the break on the WCC Network.
Nobody said it was easy. That's why you shoot 1,000 three-pointers, make 300, study all night, then shoot 1,000 more. Get straight A's. Keep practicing. Be a good friend. Push through it. Make the playoffs. Graduate cum laude. University Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the West Coast Conference. From earning interest to getting a loan, our rates beat the competition because we believe your bank should work as hard as you do.
Halftime here at Firestone Fieldhouse, joined as usual by Coach Brian Rosario. Coach, first of all, let's just talk about the Gonzaga game. You know, I think there's something to be said about winning that game at halftime, right? 28-24, and a lot of good things. And I think you know, just to be in the lead after 20 minutes, won some stats, and of course got Allie Steadman back.
Right. Well, I mean, no one wants to go in there and lose.
Right.
But we've said it before. This team was built to go up against them and match up. And so having Allie play her most efficient game, being the first one back, was huge. Mm-hmm. Our players were up for it. It was a great environment. I mean, that's college basketball at its best. We were on the short end of the stick, mainly because Maxwell kind of went off, you know, and we didn't have someone to Jane's caliber when she got into foul trouble to really lock her down, but that was kind of the difference.
Yeah, just talk to us a little bit more about Allie Steadman. You know, you talk about production, right? 17 points in 17 minutes off the bench. Just, are you at a point now that she's back, are you watching her minutes? Are you just kind of going with the flow, or how is that working?
Yeah, we're going to be on minute watch here for a few games just to make sure she's back and at herself. herself. I mean, we had a conversation before the game. You know, if she wasn't feeling herself, you know, you're not ready yet. You know, but she's been great. She was on the bike and staying warm and ready to go in, and I think she just allowed the game to come to her.
Yeah, that's great news. And another type of challenge tonight. You got the best three-point shooter this conference has ever seen in the building, Tacey Whedon. And how do you defend that? She had a good game against us the first time around. And what's the matchup, and what kind of game do you expect against her?
Right. Well, you go recruit three-point specialist stoppers, like Jane, and that'll be Jane's matchup. We've been training Allie and Marley to be that second player who can really get on her. But I think for us, you know, with the film session, it's competing on the catch and making sure that we understand the actions that she likes to get her shots off of outside of transition and kickouts and things like that. And so that's been the work the last few days.
And we talked about this last time, but again, all these games are very, very competitive, and an opportunity this weekend to catch the teams that are right above you. And now that we're in the last month of the regular season, what's the goal from here on out in terms of what you'd like to see improve going forward, and what you expect out of this team?
Right. Well, it's to perform to get wins, and that's what it's come down to. Our last 5 weeks, that's been the talking point, is let's get to February, because that's when we are the most healthy and we'll have the experience needed. But it's win games now.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
All right. Now is head coach Brian Rosario at halftime, brought to you by Wolfpack Wealth Management. Second half coming up, St. Mary's at Pepperdine on the WCC Network.
You know, I'm trying to change the game. I'm born and raised in LA. In so many different cultures, everyone has a word for kind of the cool uncle. You know, I'm everybody's uncle, and I'm going to treat you like family at my firm. Insurance companies, defense counsel, all these guys, they don't care about you. They want to get out of having to pay you $1. I'm here for the people. You don't want to ever go into a fight where the other side has a lawyer and you don't. All I want to do is be the LA lawyer go-to, and I'm here for everybody.
I wanted to wake up to the sound of the ocean.
Sun and surf. That's what we were looking for.
But the moment we arrived, we found so much more. We found beauty.
We found adventure.
We found a place we'll never, ever forget.
Halftime here at Firestone Fieldhouse finds the St. Mary's Gales leading the Pepperdine Waves 31-18. Waves limited to just 5 points in that second quarter on 2 for 16 from the floor. Let's go to our Rusnak BMW Precision play of the game, and it'll be one of those 2 baskets put in by Allie Stedman. Right here, nice little curl pattern, and Allie pulled up with 5 seconds to go. A 16-footer. St. Mary's then turned it over. It's just an opportunity as well off the inbound with 1.8 to go that the Waves did not convert, but that is our BMW Precision play of the game. Allie Stedman, the team's leading scorer. She had 4 in the first half in her first start back in about a month. Step aside, Gales by 13 at the break on the WCC Network.
Family values, reputation, community. These aren't just buzzwords at Rusnak. We've earned our stars. In fact, our customers give us an average rating of 4.8 online. That's one reason people continue to choose Rusnak BMW. And if you're tired of hearing no cars here, we have new cars arriving weekly, including the X5. So if you're ready to start hearing, yeah, we have that, click or call us. Rusnak, it's that easy.
Life is uncertain. Everyday pressures can feel overwhelming. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Halftime here at Firestone finds St. Mary's ahead of Pepperdine 31-18 as we kick off the month of February, and the Waves looking to make a move. Try to get past these two teams coming in this weekend. Go to our halftime highlights brought to you by the University Credit Union. There's Jane Waba on the move. Molly Walls, this was the best play of the first half of the Waves. An inbound, Walls just split the defense going up against the 6'4" Amy West underneath with the shot clock expiring, no less. That happened in the first quarter, and I'll tell you, I really liked the first quarter tonight, and then things just shut down for the Waves. The next 10 minutes, 22-5 being outscored, and then too much Tacey Whedon there in the final 3.5. Remember, Whedon did not score until right here. And first she had that long 2 right there, and then she had 2 threes to end the half. So she ends up with 8 points in the final 3.5 minutes of the first half. And things really got away, and of course, long way to go, but St. Mary's does have a 31-18 lead at the break. Step aside one more time. Second half coming up on the WCC Network. Back with you about 30 seconds before the start of the second half. St. Mary's with a huge second quarter and winning that quarter 22-5. Take a look at our team comparison, and it is certainly slid the way of St. Mary's. Shooting now 39% from the floor. Pepperdine down to 23% on the heels of the 12% second quarter. The Waves without a three-pointer in this game on 6 tries. St. Mary's 5 for 12. A couple of late threes there by the conference's all-time leader, Tacey Whedon. We love the rebounding. It was better in the first quarter, but Pepperdine, who averages 39.5 total rebounds a game, they're already at 25, so +2 there, and going up against Bamberger, who's number 3 in the conference. And then the turnovers, Pepperdine turning it over one more time. Then the Gales 7-6. Waves have to start the third, and that's a bad pass right there to knock it away is Aspen Garrison, but Obima gets back on defense and takes it away from Garrison. Stedman pulls up for 3. That's off the front of the rim. Easy rebound. Nobody on the boards for the Waves, so that's too easy for Bamberger, and St. Mary's now back in the front court. To our right, St. Mary's left to right in the second half. Garrison puts it on the deck one time, whip it right side to Dalton, slash through the defense, kick it back out. Bamberger to Garrison, 10 to shoot. Three-pointer Dalton, it is off the front of the rim. It goes right to Garrison, who turns and scores over in Banifo. 6 for Garrison. Whedon with 8, Rapp, Garrison, and Bamberger all with 6. Gales are now 40% for the game from the floor. One bounce and a straight up defense there for Garrison against the Banifo. Banifo, of course, a couple games back now from injury herself, and a Rapp taking everybody to school on that trip down. A minute and a half gone, and the St. Mary's lead is up to 17. Leaning in, no good from Marley Walls. Marley sitting on 4 points and 4 rebounds, and this one had 4 quick rebounds early in this game. Hasn't had one since. 3-pointer, no good, Dalton. And a held ball. And we'll keep it to our right. Maili Mosa in. And for the first time, Rosemary Odubumi. Odubumi, the 6-foot, third-year sophomore forward from Nigeria. She did attend Sierra Canyon Powerhouse High School out in the valley. And Stedman's going to the bench for the moment, I think just to get something taped up. Yeah. So she'll stay on. An offensive struggle for sure. This game, Whedon catch and shoot, come up short. Rare miss for her, and that ball's going to roll out of bounds. Pepperdine basketball. Still looking for answers offensively here. The Waves 8 for 38. Offensively in this game, 21%, nothing for 7 from distance. Stedman. Mosa will set a pick. Dribbling to her left, through her legs. Stedman trying to get it through a couple of ways. Kick out Odubumi. Lob it in, Waba. Just in time, able to get around Hannah Rapp for the easy deuce. 3-pointer back the other way as the Waves did not get back properly. Very fortunate that we didn't miss that. Career 42% three-point shooter, 3rd best in the history of the conference, while she's made a all-time high 379. Gales come up empty there, back the other way. Allie Stedman looking baseline, Walls up with it, and one, Rosemary Odubumi. I was just gonna say possibly too much passing there. I thought that Walls should initially gone up, but it turned out pretty darn good. Right there, I thought when Walls had it, maybe go up there, but maybe she was a little bit too awkwardly caught underneath the hoop, and all ended up just fine. 3-point opportunity, not converted. Offensive rebound, Waba kick out, Stedman for 3, and you'll certainly take that trade. Missed a 3-point opportunity, but the offensive rebound, and then the 3-pointer for Stedman. Back the other way, and Hannah Rapp again beating the Waves down the floor. 37-25 after the Waves had trimmed it to 10 on a 7-0 run, but Rapp quickly ends that. Here's Waba. Foul on the way down the baseline. That'll be on Rapp. 2 on her, 2 on the Gales. Rapp will leave, as will Dalton, so that means Claire Steele is back on at the point, and Tacey Whedon to the 2-guard spot. Hannafin, I should say, is back on. Whedon stays at the shooting guard. Odubumi is going to lose handle. No, just lost handle there. No one else touched it, so it's St. Mary's basketball on the 9th turnover of the game. Waves down a dozen, back on defense. Maybe a little bit of backcourt pressure here, but Steele not fazed by it. Push it ahead to Whedon. Along the wing, a couple of bounces for Steele. Chest pass back to Whedon, defended by Amosa. Put it on the deck one time. Hard to believe this is the last time we get to see Tacey Whedon in this building, grad student. What a phenomenal collegiate career. Best to do it from downtown, throws up a 14-footer there, does not go. And it'll be Pepperdine basketball on the loose ball foul. And that's going on Garrison. You can see right there. Not in agreement, the interim head coach, Allison Fasnack. She's been on staff 12 years. Paul Thomas was put on administrative leave in December, and they had since cut ties, actually just a week ago officially cut ties with the longtime St. Mary's coach who had 300 wins at St. Mary's. Waba for three, ball poked away and out of bounds. Allison Fasnack, who had been on Thomas' staff as an associate head coach, and now in an interim head coach role. St. Mary's last going to the NC2A tournament and winning the conference in 2001. Also made it to the big dance in 1999. Three-pointer, Tacey Whedon. Tell you, lightning can strike pretty quickly, and nobody does it better than number 4 in blue and red. Now with 11 to lead St. Mary's, 3 of 5 from distance, and 380 career threes. Whedon, couple of bounces to the hole, off the window too strong. Wava at the mid post, they'll grab it, and into the front court she goes. Jane Waba. Reverse, no good. Bamberger rebound. Bamberger has surpassed her third-ranked rebounding average of 7.9 a game. Whistle. Bamberger now with 8 rebounds in this one. And that brings us to a stoppage in the action with 4:26 to go. Gales still up by 15 on the WCC network. And then back to the showdown, the crosstown showdown with LMU and Westchester on February 18th, the second installment of that rivalry this year. First one was quite interesting. Won by the Waves by 20, a very physical game. And that game remains the only Pepperdine victory in the last 10 outings. Offensive foul on this end after the Gales had a quick basket on the other end. And Walls will pick up her first 2 on the Waves. Just 4:09 to go in the third. Gales with the last 7 points after the Waves had the previous 7 to bring it to within 10. Steele, get it up high to McKenna Mastora. Behind the back dribble to Hannafin. Up top to Steele. Steele right through the lane. That's a traveling violation. So Aspen Garrison turns it over. The Waves back down by 17. Had a lead out of the first quarter of 4, got outscored by 17 in the second quarter, down 13 at half. Gales up their lead to 17, Waves on a 7-0 run, brought it to 10, but Gales quick to answer that. A 7-0 run of their own. Walls to Waba. And another turnover, and the Waves now have turned it over 4 times in the last 4 minutes and 23 seconds. The scoring drought has gone over 4 minutes now for Pepperdine. West up top, straightaway 3, a very good look. That one is missed by Hannafin. Long rebound though to West. The Gales had just 3 offensive rebounds in this game as of a couple of minutes ago. Get one on that series, left side. One bounce, leaning in, no good, and Banifo, one and done there. It's 32-31, St. Mary's on the total rebounds. Claire Steele, a couple of bounces, still has it, get it up top. Runner underneath is good, and that's McKenna Mastora. 5'9" sophomore from Alameda. Gives St. Mary's its biggest lead of the night. 2:25 to go in the third, and boy, did this thing really get away. 44-25, obviously. You still got 12 minutes and change left in regulation here. But to be that pleased, and frankly, I think a lot of people were with the first 10 minutes tonight from a Pepperdine perspective, in spite of the drought in that quarter. Defense was great, rebounding was great. Saw a couple of positive things to our right, and then it just shut down. Scored just 5 points in the second quarter. Waves are sitting with 7 in this quarter, which is 2 and change left. So the Waves had more points in the first quarter than they have total since then. Since the first quarter, just 12 total. And the drought has grown to 5 minutes and 2 seconds on this 9-0 St. Mary's run. The Waves have missed their last 5 shots. That snaps the drought of 5:02, but again, missing some buckets. Right side, 3, no good, too long, missed by Mastora. Offensive rebound, West misses a chippy. Down low, ball rolls out, it'll go to Pepperdine. Here's another thing. St. Mary's has not taken a single free throw in this game. The Waves at the line in this game are 3 for 9. To be down by 18 when the opposition has not taken a free throw. That'll put the Waves back at the line on St. Mary's 5th foul of the quarter with 1:45 to go in it. Foul on Hannafin. And Banifo, who has taken 6 of the team's 9 free throws in this game, is back there, 3 for 6 tonight, hits that one. But I guess the point is, this is how you, when things aren't going right offensively, you're missing baskets, you're not getting a lot of opportunities, you got to create things. And how you create things is doing everything you can do to get to that free throw line. When your field goal percentage is as low as it is, you got to create opportunities, and let's see if defense can lead the offense here. Marley Walls, 2 on 3, puts on the brakes by the mid-post. Get it to Drea Brunfield, checked in a moment ago. And Banifo. Kick out, Waba, good look for 3. Let's see if she can get this one, it is short. So Waba's nothing for 5 from distance tonight. Sitting with 4 points, 3 rebounds. Underneath, Kirasomi finds West, lays it in. First basket for West on 4 attempts. 46-28, under a minute, third quarter. Brody to Waba, dump it in, and Banifo off the glass, no. Ball's loose at the end line. Brody cannot corral it. It'll go to St. Mary's. Stedman back on. Didn't get much of a break. Amosa back on. The Waves have missed their last 8 shots. No baskets in the last 6.5. 39 seconds. See if St. Mary's plays for a 2-for-1 or goes deep in the shot clock. A runner no good. That one missed by Rapp. And now the shot clock is off, so no 2-for-1. Assuming the Waves just play for the last shot here. 18 seconds to go. The Waves might be held under 30 after the third quarter tonight. Possibly, depending on this one. 8 seconds. Stedman, runner, blocked by West. 3 seconds ahead of the field. Who else? Tacey Whedon. Whedon's got 13. That is now a game high and right at her scoring average. And that's how the third quarter ends, with the Gales opening things up 48-28, 10 minutes to go in this one on the WCC Network.
The University Credit Union half-court shot for tuition will take place at the February 9th men's basketball game against BYU. For more information or to register online, please visit pepperdineWings.com/UCU.
The 28 points after 3 quarters tonight, down 48-28, and have been outscored 39-15 since quarter number 1. Pepperdine shooting 22% from the floor tonight. St. Mary's at 40.5%. Whedon the leading scorer with 13 in the game. Obima is fouled. And a couple of free throws coming up. And that's a play perhaps we should have seen in the third quarter. And the Waves will be taking their 12th and 13th free throws of the night. Again, St. Mary's has not been to the line tonight. First free throw for Becky Obima is in there. And that's her first point. Obima coming off a pair of double-doubles at Portland and Gonzaga, her 3rd and 4th double-doubles of the year. And Obima, her first 2 points in this one, 48-30 St. Mary's. Gales will be in Westchester on Saturday, while Pacific comes here. Just not going the way Pepperdine would have liked in what was otherwise a very winnable ball game against a team just above them in the standings. 2 up on the Waves, St. Mary's was coming in. Not putting this one to bed yet, but you got quite the tall order here in the fourth quarter, down by this margin. Right side, Kirasomi on the baseline will inbound. That's a 3-pointer for Kirasomi with 1 on the shot clock. And she's got 6. St. Mary's 7 of 19 tonight from distance. By contrast, Waves 1 of 10. Brumfield thought about it there. St. Mary's biggest lead of 21. Brumfield. Crossover, Marley Walls puts on the brakes in the middle of the paint. Tough defense there. And an offensive foul. They're not letting Marley do much tonight at all. 2 fouls on Walls. Sitting with 4 points. Had those 4 early rebounds, has just 1 since. Just an all-around dismal night offensively for Pepperdine. Gotta figure it out tomorrow with Pacific rolling in here Saturday. Corner 3, Bamberger. That's her 3rd 3 of the game. Getting a ton of production, the Gales are, outside of Tacey Whedon and Bamberger. And Bamberger's actually their leading scorer, rating conference newcomer of the year. They've got 9 players who have scored tonight. Very balanced. Amosa and Brunfield leave. Odobumi back on, Haley Hoff on for the Waves. Hoff, 5'9" freshman forward out of San Bruno. Stedman with 7 and a 3, so put Allie Stedman back in double digits. She's got 10. She's been in double digits in every one of her outings this year except for one, that obviously being the Pacific game up in Stockton where she was injured just 6 minutes in. Also a 3-pointer in every one of those games except for the game in Stockton. Another deuce to our right makes the score 56-33 St. Mary's with 7.5 to go in this one. Stedman lost handle, fortunate to retain possession. Marley Walls to Obima. Backing in, turnover Bamberger, missed that one wildly, and Bamberger had it there for a moment. Odobumi takes it away, lay it up uncontested, and gets it back, and on the second effort throws it in. And the Waves called a timeout after that basket, 56-35. They'll have 3 timeouts left. St. Mary's will have 2 left. And we are going to step aside with 7:13 to go. St. Mary's up big on the WCC network. Back with you from Firestone Fieldhouse, where St. Mary's has opened up a 21-point lead on Pepperdine, 56-35 with 7:13 to go in the game, and the Waves are going with some pressure in the backcourt. Claire Steele with it. A couple of things are really sticking out, look very odd on the stat sheet. Let you know about that in a moment as we go under 7. Tough defense for Odobumi, and we're going to have a foul. St. Mary's will inbound, out of bounds. We mentioned that St. Mary's has not taken a free throw in this game, but Bamberger, all of her points tonight have come from behind the arc. So that's all 9 points. She's made 3 threes. Now, coming into this game, mid-range shot, no good, missed by Garrison. Ball deflected out, though, by Dalton. Little slashing move there for Addison Whedon, the younger sister, of course, of Tacey, 5'10", redshirt freshman guard. And Bamberger, just 13% of her baskets this year have come from distance. She does not have a deuce. I would not have believed that, especially with St. Mary's up by 23. There's a three-pointer for Haley Hoff off the bench. Freshman drills a three. And for Haley Hoff, her 5th career three in 12 tries. Bamberger no good from distance. Rebound Otabumi. Tacey Whedon has 3 threes in this game. That's about her average. It's not what's beating Pepperdine. It's certainly other factors. St. Mary's defense, the Waves have shot just 25% from the floor tonight. Certainly showing some depth. There's another three for Haley Hoff. 58-41, back-to-back threes for the freshman. 5.5 to go. Gonna need a whole bunch of those if the Waves are to come back in this one. Miraculously, Bamberger. Tough defense, Walls, kick out, it goes to Claire Steele. Steele, put on the break, get it corner, three. The younger Whedon misses that one. But Waves an opportunity for a rebound, and Dalton just beats everybody to the hole. 60-41. St. Mary's now winning the rebounding, 40-37. The Waves early on had a big rebounding edge of +9 at one point in the first half. So that stat has changed. Stedman straight away with a quick deuce down the floor. You're gonna have to take some quick shots and probably some threes. Well, definitely some threes here in the final 4:49. Timeout, 60-43. And we'll step aside on the WCC network. Back with you for the final 4:49. St. Mary's 60, Pepperdine 43. A couple of back-to-back threes from Haley Hoff. Let's go to our ticket. Smart play of the game. I believe it is going to be a pass inside to Otabumi. Let's take a look. Stedman. Yeah, and that was a very nice play. In fact, that was the play that we thought Walls was going to have the and one. Instead, it was Otabumi who had the and one situation there. Good ball work all the way around. Stedman to Walls to Otabumi, our ticket smarter play of the game. Gales still up big, and we're going to have more pressure here put on by the Waves out of the timeout. With 4:49 to go, St. Mary's by 17 as you take a look at the redshirt sophomore. Pressure, and this is how you raise some havoc, and maybe the Waves would have been better served to go into this mode and raise this havoc earlier, but you only got 4:40 left. St. Mary's calls a timeout.
30-second timeout called by Yale.
30-second timeout. I think we're going to leave it here. Yeah, we'll leave it here, and we'll go to I think we'll go to a Tacey Whedon package. 13 points, and she's been on the bench actually quite a bit. Just got going the final 3.5. That was a long two, and got going the final 3.5 of the first half. Scored all 8 of her first half points in that span, and then ended the third quarter on a breakaway basket. There's a corner three. That was her third three. Stacey Whedon, the West Coast Conference all-time three-point shooter, 380 to her name at really a remarkable 42%. She's back on the floor here, shoots a three and misses, and that goes out of bounds. She's going to go over 400, clearly, by the time it's all said and done. Nobody else in the history of this conference has 300. Allie Stedman with it. Handed off. Hoffer, third three. No, short that time. Strong side rebound is off the Garrison. And Claire Steele probably should think about burning some clock. They're up by 17 with 4:05 to go. For these two teams, the ball deflected out. One of the refs over there calling for some help. It's going to stay on that end. These two teams came into this game with very similar numbers. Pepperdine averaging 63.5 a game. St. Mary's averaging 62, giving up 68. Waves give up 66. Waves grabbing about 3 more rebounds a game. So clearly that has not panned out. Steele underneath, deep in the shot clock, tripped up and lost handle. They're going to say no foul, just lost the ball, and we'll go back to Pepperdine as Steele turns it over. So right now, Pepperdine 20 points under their scoring average with 3.5 to go in the game. Maylia Mosa, underneath, no good. Odabumi comes down with it, keep it there on a St. Mary's foul.
On number 1,
Mosa with the spinning move, couldn't finish. Odabumi, good, nice play keeping it there and drawing the foul. Substitution on the floor for St. Mary's, Ellie Croco, a 6'1" junior forward out of Lebanon, Oregon. Baseline shot, Allie Stedman. She's got 12, nearing her season average of 15. Front court. St. Mary's has it. This is McKenna Mastora. Right side it goes to the younger Whedon. Kick it out. Amy West with 6. Underneath, ball stolen. Oh, no, not quite. Mosa could not keep it in, but St. Mary's with just 3 to work with. 2:55 to go. Gales still lead it by 15. They led it by 13 at halftime. Pepperdine drew to within 10 after a 7-0 run, but that was very short-lived. West up high, shot clock's going to run out. Shot clock violation. The Waves will get it back. And still 2:50 to go, but there is absolutely no room for any empty possessions from here on out. Stedman, crossover. Stedman, Odabumi baseline. Odabumi to the hole, runner no. And going St. Mary's way now. Underneath, point blank range. That's one that needed to go. And instead, the Waves pick up their third team foul, the 2:33 mark. Take another look. All the right moves, just not the finish. Kirasomi in the backcourt. Pushed it ahead, and the ball is knocked away by Amosa. And it'll stay with the Gales to our right. Remember, a 1 o'clock start on Saturday, 1 o'clock. Pepperdine hosting Pacific. Tigers started the night 1 up on the Waves in the WCC standings. They're at LMU tonight. Straightaway 3. That is no good. Missed by Addison Whedon. Redshirt freshman. That one almost airmailed across the court. Taken back by Allie Stedman. Stedman for a three-pointer. It is in there. And Allie Stedman is 3 for 4 now from distance with 1:50 to go. Down by 12. Probably still too much. Gonna go for a quick steal and get a quick basket again. And there's a traveling violation. And now you got to score every time and very quickly. Stranger things have happened. I fear this deficit, though, at this stage, it's probably a little too much. But got to go quickly. Stedman handed off to Marley Walls. I don't know if there's enough time to do this. I think you got to go very quick. Stedman got to fire it. She does. No good long. Rebound West with 1:20 to go. Waves have won the fourth quarter, 20-12. Lost the third quarter, though, 17-10. Waves have the last 7 of this one. Under a minute. Wisely, Kirasomi using the whole clock. Around to Mosa underneath, no good. Rebound Stedman with 50. Stedman. Kick it out, Hoff. Fire a 3, looking for a third. She's got it. So Haley Hoff is going to have 9 points. The deficit is 9, and you're going to be left thinking about this game because it's all about the what ifs now. I just don't think the Waves can get over this hump. We're going to leave it here. 43 seconds to go. The deficit is 9. You would have wished, if you're losing at this point, I'd say you'd have a chance if it's 5 or 6. There is still a chance. Just not a very good one. If you know, still got to get some steals and quick triples. Just you can't help but think about the 5-point second quarter, the 10-point third quarter. Take another look here. Haley Hoff off the bench, 3 threes in the second half tonight. Got to go for a quick steal, otherwise you got to put them on the line. And almost a steal there. Underneath, they clear the press. 32 seconds to go. You got a foul. You didn't get the quick steal. Well, you got the turnover, but again, you're down 9 here. 26 seconds to go. Odabumi makes it a 7-point game. 24 seconds to go. And there's the foul. They had 1 to give, so it's not going to put them on the line. St. Mary's has not taken a single free throw in this game. So it's a quick steal here, or you got to put them on the line for the first time. Right now you do that, and it's going to be Kirasomi taking the first free throws of the game for St. Mary's. Well, you might have fouled the right person. She's only 10 for 15 this year at the line. I don't know why you wouldn't have Whedon on the court if you're St. Mary's. Whedon is a career 87% free throw shooter. Still a 3-possession game, which is 21 seconds to go. Kirasomi splits the 2, 61-53, front court Walls. Gotta fire it. You gotta fire this ball, 13 seconds to go, too much time. The Waves are taking, and Amosa will go to the free throw line, which is 7.9 to go, and down by 8. Well, the Waves never hung it up. That much we could certainly say. Just the second and third quarter, the undoings tonight, especially the second quarter. Amosa, first foul shot of the night for her, goes in. She's got 3. 17 for Stedman. That matches what she did off the bench at Gonzaga, her last game back. Got a starting role tonight.
Jane Waba returns for Pepperdine.
Surpassing her season average. Jane Waba on the court, just 7.9 to go. The deficit is 6. outscoring St. Mary's 27-13 in the quarter. The Waves are on a run of 14-1. But at the end of the night, it's going to come up a little bit short. Kirisomi back to the free throw line. Just split the first two free throws of the night for St. Mary's. 62-55 now, which is 6.7 to go. At the final buzzer, we'll just be in a couple seconds. We'll step aside and come back and wrap it up quickly. Get you ready for the game against Pacific, a 1 o'clock start Saturday. It's a timeout here for Pepperdine, just 5.3 to go. We're going to step aside, finish off the final 5.3 in a moment on the WCC network.
I wanted to wake up to the sound of the ocean.
Sun and surf. That's what we were looking for.
But the moment we arrived, we found so much more. We found beauty.
We found adventure.
We found a place we'll never, ever forget.
Well, St. Mary's led this game 54-30 with 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're now up 62-55. 25-8 run. Hoff off the bench looking for a fourth three. That one is short, and that's how the game will end. 62-55. The Waves win the fourth quarter 27-14. They won the first 13-9. Just that 5-point second quarter. Could not recover from that as they went into the locker room down 13, and it was just uphill since. And the Waves fall short tonight by 7. We'll come back in a moment to wrap it up on the WCC network.
Nobody said it was easy. That's why you shoot 1,000 three-pointers, make 300, study all night, then shoot 1,000 more. Get straight A's. Keep practicing. Be a good friend. Push through it. Make the playoffs. Graduate cum laude. University Credit Union is a proud sponsor of the West Coast Conference. From earning interest to getting a loan, our rates beat the competition because we believe your bank should work as hard as you do.
We are the WCC. We are fueled by the conviction to achieve our goals without boundaries. We recognize and we adapt. We welcome adversity. We are Presidential Medal of Freedom winners, NBA champions, Olympic gold medalists, record breakers, and difference makers. We create change, and we create champions. We are the West Coast Conference.
Well, Haley Hoff gets a career high tonight, all in the fourth quarter. 3 threes for her 9-point game off the bench. It's not enough. In spite of St. Mary's going without a basket in the final 5 minutes and 10 seconds, Gales hold on. 62-55 after they led it by as many as 24 in the fourth quarter. Ended up winning it by 7. Take a look at some of the highlights tonight. There's Jane Waba putting it in, one of her just 2 baskets, missed all 5 of her threes. Waba again underneath. And Pepperdine was led by Allie Stedman in her first start in about a month. 17 points, her second game back from injury, 7 for 11 from the floor, made 3 threes. Had a game high 17, Stedman did. And for St. Mary's, Tacey Whedon, 13 points, made 3 threes, the all-time WCC three-point shooter with 380 to her name now. In her final appearance in Firestone Fieldhouse, Hannah Rapp, 1 rebound away from a double-double, 10 points, 9 rebounds. Allie Bamberger, 9 points and 9 rebounds. Gale shot 41%, Waves shot 31%, and the Waves fall tonight by 7. And Pepperdine goes to 7-15 overall and 2-10 in the WCC. St. Mary's goes to 11-12 overall, and make it 5-7 now in the conference. Talk to you Saturday at 1 o'clock against Pacific. Great job, Game On Entertainment. Once again, I'm Darren Preston. Talk to you Saturday at 1 o'clock. This has been Pepperdine basketball, a 62-55 loss to St. Mary's on the WCC Network. Have a great Friday, everybody.